The book is comprised of so many CEOs and people who start off with absolutely zero, and I think that the one thing that I want people to learn out of this book is
my Shark branded team and then Crown Publishing. Thank you guys. Here's the great thing about Miller Coors. When I go out there, they give up to, I believe, $400,000 in total prizes. They don't take anybody's company, any piece of the company, and they give everybody that well-needed capital for the initial start. So Miller Coors, of course, is very dear to me, and of course Crown, my book publisher. When I came to them with this idea and this concept of trying to educate people instead of bragging about, you know, what I've accomplished in life, more bragging about my failures and how that taught me a lesson, and then interviewing amazing CEOs and entrepreneurs who failed the same way. They believed in it right away, and they said, we have to get this message out to everybody, so please give it up for Crown as well. My first book, my second book, when I didn't have a book, always believed in me, as a small business owner, one of the few, African-American owned stores, bookstores in the country. And I've always learned that throughout my businesses, whenever I had any new clothing brand or anything else, I never really dealt with the big clothing stores first. I always dealt with the small business owner operator, because they were the ones that are talking to the customer every single day, and they're telling me what the customer really thinks.
There is power in being broke. There's power in utilizing the resources that you have available in front of you. I've learned from this gentleman right here, and we're going to have a nice chat with him this evening.
I've had so many people part of my journey. I don't think that we get here by ourselves. People like my amazing staff that works for me tirelessly every day. Where's the young man who flew over here from Jordan? Where you at? Stand up right there. You hear that? Yeah, and I'm not talking Jordan, New Jersey. When you hear stuff like that, you feel very honored and blessed that people are, gravitating towards the things you're doing.
What are some principles that one should internalize and realize first? You have to put things together before you approach other people.
You have to have some kind of level of proof of concept, because every one of us has a new idea every other day, right? So there's no shortage of ideas. There's shortage of execution, a shortage of people to execute it. So that's why when you have something, a concept and everything else, you have to prove it some way or another. So
how far or how involved is a process? It's a simple concept of hard work as being something that is a part of proof of concept. Everyone has ideas, everyone has thoughts, and like you said, there's a different idea every day. How do you vet that out? And how important is hard work?
Well, hard work is extremely important. Desire and drive and passion is extremely important. And the ability to accept, it's not going to be called failure, the ability to accept hurdles and the door slamming in your face. That's extremely important, because again, in the book I don't give people the golden ticket and whatever you think of is going to be a hit. I can't say it's going to be a hit. If you decide that you're going to sell used wet naps, that's up to you. I'm not saying it's going to be. They were making enough money at this time in this country where they can basically take care of their household, and they can put away money, and they can also have retirement, and then one of the parents can raise the kids. Then things changed. We still needed an education because we needed to populate all these corporations, and now it's a different time. But when you see that 08 came around and secure jobs weren't secure jobs, and you needed to start making sure that you have some other interest out there, the times have changed. But you were always told, and rightfully so, in the past it was, you might need some money to make money. But it's a totally different age now. We're all changing, and the digital gap, the digital divide is killing the middle class. Those who don't have any kind of digital intelligence, they're suffering. The digital intelligence is as simple as this. If you don't know QuickBooks, or you don't know some of those type of things to operate financially on, online or anything like that, that separates you from being a cashier at a store to being a manager. And that's a large amount of capital. So, and that's probably 30% different in your capital, so annual capital. So I say all that to say the time is now that we can empower ourselves, but you have to have a good idea. You have to have still the fundamentals of business. I think that a couple of core things you should think about is, first of all, people all want to be part of a movement. And if you make them feel like you're going to do it regardless, then they want to be part of what's going on. And I'm sure you've experienced that when, I'm sure you got many no's, and then they saw you someplace else, and they were like, man, this young man is going to do it regardless. Not, hey, I need a handout, I need a favor. It's kind of like, you know what, I don't want to bother you. I don't want to really waste your time. Here's what I've been working on. If you can be part of it, if not, no problem. I totally get it. And then while, you know, I'm talking to you, I'm looking over here. Yo, man, don't go nowhere. I got you next. So you know that person's not going to stop. So it's all about thinking outside the box and strategically placing yourself and knowing, you know, what to do and just having common sense. It's common sense most of the time, to tell you the truth.
Common sense, a lot of people lack the common sense.
They lack common sense. You know, common sense not that common. You know, they're just thinking about their end goal. They're not thinking about just the next step.
What is the most attractive thing to you as an investor when people pitch you on ideas?
I'm looking to know that person has failed several times. So my money's not going to be tuition, right? I'm looking to see that the idea is scalable, because a lot of times you don't need an investment. You know, listen, if you're doing $300,000 in business and you're putting in your pocket $150,000 and it's a seasonal business and you're only doing it 3 months out of the year and the rest of the time you get to spend with your family or surfboarding or skateboarding, do you really need $300,000? Because now I'm going to ask you to take it up to $2 million. I'm going to get 50% of it, and then you're going to have to work 8 months out of the year. And the next thing is, and really it's the most important thing, do I like the person?
Now, for everyone in here who has this book, what is the one thing that you hope everyone takes out of reading it?
The book is comprised of so many CEOs and people who start off with absolutely zero, and I think that the one thing that I want people to learn out of this book is what to do as their next step. Because of the 15 people in there that some start on social media, some are female, some are male, some are athletes, some are old, some are young, millennials, whatever the case is. And I want to either reinforce what they're currently doing so they can say, I'm on the right track, or I want them to say, I got stuck, and I'm going to try these couple of things that I think may take me to the next stage of my progression. And then they go out and find another source to give them the next stage of their progression, whether it's a mentor, whether it's they surround themselves with like-minded people, or they start setting their goals, whether they start saying, you know what, I was trying to come up with this idea and I just realized Damon said nobody's going to give me money, so I'm going to go and sell my TV set, dig in the couch for as much money as I can, you know, put a couple of dollars on my credit card, not too much.
Not too much.
Not too much, right, at a high interest rate, and I'm going to get that one thing made, and then I'm going to get 2 of them made. You know, Zuckerberg started off with 1 friend. He really did. Now he has 1.5 billion friends. Well, yeah, so that's what I want people to do. I want them to find the next step that's going to take them throughout their journey.
And